Millions of Kenyans must have been flabbergasted by both the situation and circumstances surrounding state persecution of Dr. Miguna Miguna, who was deported to Dubai by an elite GSU paramilitary commandos. The whole drama that has been unfolding in the Miguna case points to a well-oiled conspiracy by state and other agents to keep Miguna Miguna out of Kenya to prevent him from engaging in politics. Why? 1. It is beyond challenge that Miguna Miguna is a Kenyan citizen. The state confiscated and destroyed his passport. Instead of the state issuing him with a new passport, they chose to incarcerate him for 5 days, after which he was illegally deported to Dubai. This act is not just a product of a decision from an immigration official but a decision from top members of the ruling class who have conspired to ensure that Miguna does not return to Kenya. 2. Miguna was sedated without a court order and without a known doctor or medical practitioner. No one knows what he was injected with, and the health impact of the injection is yet to be established. No one is directly responsible for the medical consequences of the injection. Under the circumstances, the manner in which Miguna Miguna was sedated points to a conspiracy by the state. 3. Miguna was abducted by a squad of 50 GSU officers who overpowered him after breaking the door of his toilet cell. Why should security officers break the door of a detainee at an international airport when they can gain access with a key? Did strangers break the door to abduct Miguna without the knowledge of the police at the airport? The answer is no. This was a well-planned conspiracy by the Uhuru Kenyatta government and accomplices to commit an illegality. The planting of Moses Kuria in the same flight with Miguna Miguna to take pictures is the ultimate confirmation that high conspiracy was at play. 4. United Arab Emirates, which flew Miguna Miguna to Dubai after his abduction, is an international airline which ought to follow international guidelines on deportees. How did the airline accept to fly Miguna Miguna in the name of deportation from his country to a foreign land after an illegal sedation and accompanied by paramilitary officers? The answer is that the airline was part of the conspiracy because the United Arab Emirates deals with the Jubilee regime in illegal and corrupt deals worth billions of Kenyan shillings. It in the United Arab Emirates that ballot papers which were used to rig the 2017 election were printed. The two governments are in cahoots to undermine the Kenyan and international legal processes because of selfish interests of state actors. Sadly, they seem to be facing no consequences. 5. When Miguna Miguna arrived in Kenya, he was not arriving as a deportee. When the Emirates airline accepted to fly him from Nairobi, he had no passport and he has been stranded at the airport in Dubai. The question which begs for answers is how an airline could have accepted to fly an undocumented passenger from his own country to a foreign land. These questions only represent the tip of the iceberg. The United Arab Emirates conspired with despots in Kenya, not just to violate Miguna's rights but also to violate international law, and yet no key international body has spoken in favor of Miguna Miguna. Why? Because the operation was a conspiracy all the way. 6. Miguna was deported against a backdrop of 10 court orders in favor of Miguna which were all ignored by the Uhuru Kenyatta state. Any state that ignores its own court orders is not just a rogue state but a non-state which has no right to govern. With the Miguna deportation, Kenyans must understand that they no longer have a government but a cartel calling itself government. While ignoring court orders was also an act of impunity, deporting Miguna Miguna when the court had ordered for his repatriation to Kenya was a conspiracy of the highest order. 7. Just as Miguna Miguna was being deported following his arrival from Canada, Raila Odinga, the ODM leader, tried frantically to physically prevent his deportation. However, when Miguna succeeded in stopping his deportation and got stuck at the airport for 2 days, Raila Odinga never returned to the airport, although he still had an opportunity of saving Miguna if the handshake was for real. The failure of Raila to fight even harder to secure Miguna's release after the first failed deportation attempt suggests that Raila Odinga could have been part of the conspiracy to get Miguna out of the country. In fact, Raila's inability to return to the airport the following day to follow up the Miguna case suggests that his presence there when Miguna arrived was a public relations exercise. It is paradoxical that Raila was meeting the so-called Nairobi business community who killed Luas the same day Miguna was to be deported. Either, Raila has become senile or he was part of the conspiracy. 8. When Raila went to Kibera immediately after his mysterious handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, he assured youths who had gathered to listen to him that Miguna Miguna would be allowed to Kenya as part of the deal that led to the handshake. With the failure of Raila to secure Miguna's return, the handshake has been exposed as either having been fake or Raila Odinga is part of the conspiracy to ensure that Miguna is not allowed back in Kenya. 9. Since the Miguna Miguna drama started unfolding, there has been a lot of ODM-aligned lawyers who have been fighting hard for his release by obtaining useless court orders. On the eve Miguna was abducted, the lawyers were blocked from serving the court orders. The fact that the lawyers could not even have access to Miguna ahead of his deportation is further proof that the legal battles in court were a theater to convince the public that ODM was working hard to secure Miguna's release. In any case, the ODM statement by Mr. Mbadi condemning Miguna's deportation was too little too late. The party issued no statement during Miguna's 5 days of incarceration. It can therefore be deduced that whatever work the lawyers were conducting, together with the ODM statement, were part and parcel of a conspiracy to dupe the public as Miguna's deportation was being finalized. 10. The so-called international community, which, in essence, are the British and the Americans, had been making a lot of noise about the rule of law and the need for the respect of the Constitution by all parties. When Miguna's rights were being blatantly violated and the Kenyan Constitution raped by the despots, this same international community went mute. Why? The deportation of Miguna Miguna was not just a local state conspiracy in cahoots with ODM and Raila Odinga but also a conspiracy involving Western powers who find Miguna Miguna too radical for relative comfort. Western powers are afraid of the looming Kenyan revolution, although no one is known to have stopped any revolution whose time has come. In conclusion, despite Miguna Miguna's tribulations, the experience that has been witnessed by the Kenyan and international public, together with the ill and unacceptable treatment he has received at the hands of state actors, has built his reputation and destroyed the credibility of both Uhuru Kenyatta's illegal government and Raila Odinga Uhuru handshake. Miguna is providing hope to the people of Kenya that there are still Kenyans ready to stand for the liberation of that country from criminals who have taken over state instruments and who are using state power to subvert democracy and the rule of law. Miguna's deportation has confirmed that Raila Odinga has sold out the Kenyan struggle, while it has also underlined the need for Kenyans to regroup around a revolutionary movement or party that can liberate that country from criminals who have stolen state power and who are now misruling with impunity. Thanks for watching, subscribe and spread the message.